Hello, everyone. Welcome to a new episode of Migrant Collective Stories. Today, I am with a very special person. She's Rocio from Peru. She has been living here 5 years, or not, Rocio? How are you?
Yeah, hi, Nina.
Hi.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks for being with us. I know you are an entrepreneur here, and we want to know how you get all this idea about Las Breakers. But first of all, I want to know, how did you get to Australia?
So, hello everyone. My name is Rocio. I come from Peru. I moved initially to New Zealand, so I'm already 5 years outside of Peru. Sorry, and then after 2 years, I moved to Australia, direct to Melbourne. So I guess that's my kind of journey. I came with a working holiday visa and then changed visas as everyone. So that's kind of how I got here.
Yeah, and how was your working experience here?
It was really hard. Like in New Zealand, I tried to work on my career for a bit. It was really hard because for Peruvians, the working holiday had a limit of 3 months, and that nobody could hire me longer because everybody wanted just a 2-year experience, and I didn't have that. So I ended up doing freelance and ended up in a volunteer paid work. And in Australia, when I moved here, it was really hard again because everybody looked for the Australia experience and I didn't have that. But even though I had New Zealand experience, some people kind of called me, but then at the end it was like, I don't think so. And then I really struggled until I started understanding the market. I start contacting women, cold calling people and say, hey, what I need to do this. And then slowly start getting into graphic design, which is my career. And then somehow I got into one job, and then that job led to another job, and that after that it's just easy. But the first one took me really a lot of headaches, cries, and lots of things of me.
Oh, and so what is your current work, and which other works have you performed before?
So my bachelor is a graphic designer, but because I live in New Zealand and Australia, I realized that my career was changing, like there was new skills required, etc. So I decided to study something in Australia called user experience design. So I changed from graphic design to product design. So that's my career title, and currently it's on demand, and there are a lot of jobs, but also a lot of requirements. So that's my actual title now.
Okay. So on what have you worked before in a non-skills areas?
Yes. I can list you. My list is like this. I've done in New Zealand and Australia, I've done kiwi fruit picking. I've done cherry picking. I've done nannying, waitress. I got fired because I was really bad at waitressing. I was nanny. I also got fired as nanny. I did, what else I did? I was a preschool relief teacher in New Zealand. I work as a kindergarten teacher, as a relief teacher. I did, what else? Everything. I cannot, my list is cleaner once, yes. So long list.
What happened when you have these kind of situations, when you said like, oh, I couldn't I don't know, stay longer in this position? What do you think happened when you realize, well, you have to reinvent yourself?
As I come with 5 years, I realized that the journey that brought me here is to know myself. So every time I got a job that I didn't like, it just pushed me far. I was like, I remember one time I was cleaning an office in Wellington, New Zealand, and I was like, why I'm cleaning the office? I should be in the office and someone else should be cleaning. So that kind of jobs give me the power to search for more and do more. And I knew I deserved more because Latinos come with a degree, come with education, come with, our culture, why we ended up in these jobs. So that pushed me to create the project that I can talk later, but also that strength to just fight for what I wanted. So I guess just each job just gave me that big strength for that.
When you realized you could perform in your area, it was with a specific experience in particular? Or just you?
It's a bit mixed. So when you arrive, well, at least in New Zealand, everybody told you, oh, like you want to work in your area, like that's not possible, like, oh, nobody can do it. And the rumors start getting into you, like, oh, maybe I can, and just go smaller and smaller. But the things that I realized when I wanted to work on my area was, one, I first met a girl who did it. So that was an example for me to, oh, she did it, I can do it. And then just meeting people, right? I guess that, but also I have one anecdote I can tell.
Yes,
I got to an internship. So in New Zealand, it was really hard to get in my profession because it was 2015. It was really hard. There was not many immigrants there, not many Latinos, not many Peruvians, of course. And I got to an internship that it was paid, and the guy that was hiring me confused my name because he didn't, Rocio is a hard name to pronounce. And he said, oh, like I'm Rosario. And I'm like, oh, I'm not Rosario, I'm Rocio. And he said, oh, I'm sorry, I upgraded you. Rosario is a movie filmmaker. And I'm like, you upgraded me? Like I'm downgraded? Like that just pushed me to say, stop. Like one, I changed career because of that, but also just give me the strength to just keep fighting and keep, just proving people that they are wrong, that I'm something more than they think.
And how have been your experience working in your field then?
It has been a journey, of course, but amazing. Like because of the limits of my visa in New Zealand and Australia, 3 months in New Zealand and 6 months in Australia, even though it's a restriction, kind of give me the freedom, if you know what I mean, like, because I couldn't do a long-term job, I just did contracts. So I went from, I worked for the council, I worked for a big bank in Australia, I worked for a university. So that limit gave me the strength to work in different areas. I have like these clients list, and it was amazing. I think I cannot complain. I saw from corporate, I work for a startup later, which is a very small company. So I could see the whole range of companies in just 1 year. So it was amazing.
What is do you think Australian society in the professional level is prepared to embrace migration and diversity? What do you think? How have been your experience in that area?
Good question. Actually, that's the core of our values in our project. When I came here, I had that thought of, okay, Australia is not prepared for immigrants. Like, oh, I'm just like, the bottom of the pyramid. And so, but when you start proving your value in the company, they actually wanted to, extend my contract, wanted to hire me, wanted to, upgraded me in another position. So I think there's a lot of space in the correct company. So some companies will use you only as some companies have a tick of diversity. So they will hire you just because they have to tick that box of diversity. Mm-hmm. But some companies, like tech company that I worked just recently, they actually want diversity, and is for only one reason, because diversity creates diverse of thinking, diverse of minds. So it's not a disadvantage. It's actually advantage to be from somewhere else in Australia. So I think it's growing, and I think it's going to be the new norm, but you have to be careful where to work, I guess. That's my advice for people.
So what do you think are the obstacles that we faced when we want to improve our working situation as immigrants?
The obstacles are many, from the language. So in New Zealand, at least, the English is very narrow. The go to the left in New Zealand, go to the left. It's very, very narrow. In Australia, it's more the CV cover, like the format, because we in South America, at least in Peru, we have we use photo for the resume. Here, they don't use it. So kind of the culture of here, understanding that they need to have a coffee with you before hiring you. They need to talk to you. They need to know you're willing to, do whatever for the company. Where in Peru, I will send, 100 resumes for different companies. Here, you have to tailor each CV for each company, more or less. So understanding the culture, I guess, it's a big gap, and also the English skills that nobody is perfect. So yeah.
Hey, Rocio, can you tell me, so when did you decide to start your own startup with Diana?
Yes, so after finding these challenges and kind of landing in my, I would say, corporate job, and I was really happy, I realized that when I went to Latin parties and talk with people, it's like, oh, how you get that? Like, that's impossible to get. I'm like, no, it's not, but it's just some things you have to do. And I met Diana on a party actually, and we were talking about how difficult it was for us, but also rewarding. And we started this project called Las Breakers, which is to empower Latin women in the professional path in Australia and New Zealand, because I live there also. And the culture is kind of the same as the Aussie. And then we started, and then we realized everybody felt the same, like everybody felt rejection, and they kind of wanted to come back to their profession because as we know, we come with a degree under our arms, and we ended up doing all the jobs that we don't like. So I guess I just tried to help. And since the launch, we had many people, like I think 300 people writing us, messages, subscribe, Instagram, etc. So we're lucky, but also it's overwhelming because you cannot help everyone.
And Rocio, can you tell us, what do you do in Las Breakers?
Sure. So because I'm a product designer as my career, I do the website, I do I design the Instagram, I try to give advice to people, I try to build a community, and Diana will do the marketing.
Awesome. And how do you help to migrant women?
We try to help, sorry to interrupt. No, we try to help with CV review, one-to-one, and tips.
Awesome. So where they can find you?
Everybody can find us on Instagram. We are at Las Breakers on Instagram, but also we have a website, lasbreakers.com. It's in English, Spanish, and we're trying to do Portuguese, but it's really hard to get the translations correct. So yeah, we're there.
Oh, so thank you for being with us. And I am going to ask you the last question. What are your recommendations for the other migrants? Then you probably have given these recommendations before. But what do you think are the points that we have to have on mind when we want to looking for another areas, maybe work in all careers or chase all dreams?
I think the biggest advice will be, it's actually based on data. We did a survey on our platform about the step where we drop of the search. So we don't look for jobs anymore. And it's actually the first, they not even send, people are too scared to send even the CV. So that just tells us that this is the mind. So first, work on your mind. You can do it. There's people, there's me, there's actually a directory we're creating of Latin women in professional jobs in Australia and New Zealand that are already working there. So first is your mind, work, and you can do it. And I think the second is just what we talked before, is like, you're going to be an asset. So just believe that they are not hiring you because you're, like, we need you. It's actually, you're going to give to the company a value. And that's the most important thing, because where you come from is more different, it's diverse. You come from a different perspective. So whatever you're going to bring to the table is going to be amazing. And you have to come with that. And they will open your arms. So I think just have in mind those two things, and you will get in the path to the professional job in Australia.
Oh my God, thank you for this advice, because I hear something very different than others' experiences, and you are saying they are prepared to have more people in the professional area, and that we are the persons that we don't have maybe the courage to send those emails and reach those opportunities.
Yeah, I think it's because of the people just say that we can, and just, you know, by people putting that thing on your mind, you just, okay, it's impossible, nobody can do it, and you just put yourself down. So just send your CV, work on yourself, and always improve.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much for your time today. We learned so much things about you, about your experience, your life story, and about the breakers. For sure, we can build a community together, like all these startups that are oriented to migrant women living in Australia. So thank you for your work, girls, with your work, you and Diana. And thanks for being here, telling your story to Skilled Migrant Collective.
Thank you, Nina, for the invitation.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.